I'm on a mission, I can never call it quits. Through the good and through the bad, through the struggle and the pain, I got used to heavy lifting with my muscle and my brain. Reminisce on days, things will never be the same. Well, I'll have
Hey man,
Hey.
it's been a minute.
Yeah, it has been.
We saw like each other like once, and last time was like you mentioned, I was on a Mr. Prob's music video.
Yeah,
so
yeah, true.
that was
Yeah.
like 2-3 years ago. But welcome to the podcast, and
Thank you.
and thanks for coming, man. Because
Yeah.
like it took you an hour and a half to come here.
Yeah, about 2 hours by train.
2 hours of train. You're
Yeah.
coming for the podcast.
Yeah,
That is
exactly.
so sick. It shows how important it is for you and all that.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
that's a pretty good thing.
Yeah.
And but what we're talking about, we're pretty much going to speak about. We have to introduce you first. You're going to introduce yourself. This
Okay.
is cool.
Okay. So my name is Eauxby. I'm 26 years old from the Netherlands. I grew up here, born and raised. My mom is from Congo, the old Belgian colony, well, ex-Belgian colony. Actually, just right now, like I make music. I work in the media production sector, and I'm trying to make my work centered around the experience of a black person in a white society right now. So this is it's funny because I've always been very much interested in this because I've experienced a lot of racism and a lot of discrimination in this country and in Europe in general. And right now, to see all this stuff happening, all these people standing up, speaking out against racism, for me, it feels like finally, you know,
man,
it's like...
It's a relief.
Yeah, it's a relief.
It's like you're taking these clothes off, winter is over.
Yeah.
Holy, I need to go run. And
like
dance.
the Wizard of Oz, when at the end, all those people, they take off those suits. That's exactly how I felt when I saw that. And I was like, okay, so now this is the time to use my voice to speak out and, in every way I possibly can, So,
And you do it with your music.
Yeah,
and that's why we played at the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah.
So people can check you out on Spotify.
Definitely.
I will just put a link on the Instagram and
Awesome.
on the YouTube where people can check out the music.
That would be great.
And but today we're gonna talk about something that is super important about work environment.
Yes.
And racism is work environment because that's something that is not easy. It's a place where you have to work. You got to make your money, and unfortunately you have to face this uncomfortable situation in a place where you should be actually encouraged to be yourself and supported by your coworkers. So
definitely
we can explore like your vision, how you feel about it, and we can talk about it. What can be the solution about it actually?
And this just happened a couple days ago, and I'm still not completely, I still haven't completely wrapped my mind around it. But so basically, I bought pre-cut mango at the supermarket in the morning because I wanted to eat some fruit at the office. At some point, we have a meeting, and my whole team is already in the meeting room. I'm the last one to enter, and then one of my employers goes, as I walk through the door, he goes, "Obi, look, there he is, Mr. Mango, straight off the plantation." And I'm like, oh my God, he really just said that? So I replied, my family used to have a lot of plantations. And he replied, oh, so I felt like, you know what, I'm just going to be calm about it. And I'm just going to tell him a fact that he didn't know about my family or whatever. Because there's a whole history before me that he doesn't know about. So he just sees a little black boy, I guess. And his reply was, oh, so to me that meant that he realized that what he said was really wrong, know. Then my other employer goes, let's quickly start the meeting. And I'm like, yeah, sure, so we had the meeting, we worked. After that, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to let it slide for now, The same day they told me, on Friday, because that was on a Wednesday. The same day they told me on Friday, you're going to have to film at a school together with said employer. And so I was like, okay, sure. There was a whole day between that. That day I went to work. I did my work. I was like, I'm not going to talk about anything to anyone. I kept my headphones on all day behind my computer, kept on working. Left the office during the break. I was like, I'm just not going to be here too much. Like, if I don't have to be here, I won't be here. And then on Friday morning, I arrive at the train station of the city where we had to film, and there comes my employer, and he asked me, "Hey, Eauxby, how are you doing?" And at first I was like, I'm not going to confront him now. I'm just going to sit back and write down every bad remark they make, and then at some point confront them with everything at the same time. But then, like, when he said that, I was like my emotion just took over, and I was like, not well, because you said something that I don't agree with, and I want to talk about it. So he said, what did I say? I reply, like, I explained to him what he said, you know, like, I repeated it, and his first reaction is, I never said that. I never said that. Like, maybe you misheard it, or what was it again? Yeah, I feel bad about the fact that you feel like that. I am truly a man of my word. I would never say anything to hurt anybody. So, yeah, I was like, wow. I literally told him, wow, this is so weak. Like, how dare you lie to me right now? Like, this is exactly what you said. Yeah. There were other people in that space. Like, I repeated the whole conversation, you know, with what I said after that and what he said, and he just looked at me like a deer staring into headlights. Like, he was just like, what? You know? So, like, I just knew he was lying, and he was trying to, like, cover it up somehow. He probably thought that I either didn't really hear it, or I forgot about the moment, or whatever. But, like, the thing is, like, I don't forget these type of things, you know. So I was really, really angry at that moment. But I thought, I have to work today. We have to go to a client. So I told him, I don't feel like talking about this anymore, because I'm not able to have an actual conversation with you right now. So I'm gonna prep my gear. We're going to that client. We're going to film. He's not going to have to notice anything throughout the whole day. Yeah. At least not from me. You know, if you want to act some type of way, go ahead. But I'm not going to show any type of weird vibes. They're just not going to notice anything from me. So he said one more time, like, yeah, but I really want to talk about it before we start working, because I don't feel comfortable working like this. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, I don't care about your comfort right now. I don't care. That is not up to you, you know? Like, I don't care. If I don't want to talk, I just told you I don't want to talk. You don't ask me to talk again. You can't force me. Like, what are you going to do, basically? So I just told him, like, no, I'm not going to talk about it right now. I'm going to start working right now, and that's what we're going to do. So we started working. Went to the location. Everything went super well that day. Like, I even, like, kind of, like, got my passion for shooting, like, for camera work back a little bit, because of the gear that I got. And at the end of the day, like, remember, he said, I'm a man of my word at the beginning. So at the end of the day, we finished filming, and I was packing all the gear. We were in this separate room. He was there as well, and then the client was there as well. And he starts making some small talk. He asked, like, are you in a, like, do you guys have a big team? And he says, well, no, we have a quite small team, 4 people, but yeah, you know, like, before Corona we had a bigger team, but due to Corona we had to make some decisions, blah blah blah. And I was just saying, like, wow, because the fact is that in January one of my colleagues quit because of the fact that she was tired of how it was going at the office, like the lack of leadership, the lack of interest, and also the lack of actually, like, not feeling taken seriously. Basically not being taken seriously, because that was exactly what it was. 1st of January, my second colleague quit for the same reasons, and that was 1st of February, sorry. And then 1st of March, my third colleague quit. So I went from having 4 colleagues to having 1. In a matter of 3 months. Then Corona hit. So, yeah. And knowing this, like, hearing him lie to that client while I was there, I kind of felt like, okay, now he's trying to make something up, because he probably had some other lie that he usually tells the clients when I'm not there. But since we had that, like, confrontation that morning, I'm pretty sure that he just, like, tried to kind of slither out there, you know? So yeah, I don't know, man. Like that happened, and I was so done with it. So I just kept cool. I kept calm. I didn't say anything. After that, I had a lot of gear to bring back to the office. So he dropped me off at the station in the city. Went back to the city where the office is. Dropped my gear there. Like the rented gear, dropped it there. And normally I was supposed to wait and bring it back to like the rental shop, but I was like, yo guys, I'm going home. I was so pissed.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I was really pissed. I just dropped it there. I told him I'm done with you guys. I'm going home.
Yeah.
And yeah, after that I got a like today, was it today? I think today I got a text from the other employer saying that yeah, I haven't spoken to you yet. Please give me a chance to listen to you and to take you seriously and something. And I was like, this needed to happen for you, like for me to give you a chance to take you serious. No, wait, this needed to happen for you to take me seriously.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like I've been working here for 1.5 years, and now you send me a message not saying like, hey, hope you're feeling well, or let's talk about it. I need you to know that I do take you seriously or whatever.
Yeah.
No. He said, give me a chance to take you seriously. Give me a chance to listen to your side of the story and to take you seriously. And I'm like, yo. So I just told him like, please don't contact me unless it's through email or through the group chat of work.
That way you can have a
yeah.
But in your story, it's pretty crazy because, and I'm hearing those stories more and more, especially now because it feels like those employers and some people are realizing, oh, I cannot treat people like shit anymore.
Exactly.
And I cannot be racist. I cannot be an asshole because I'm the boss and because I have money. But what you did, what you had the courage to do is like confronting him. That's like respect because, and obviously you're the only employee they have left, I think, for the job you're doing. So they're a bit like, oh, we have no choice. So, but you had the courage to face him. You had the courage to explain yourself the way you're explaining it in a peaceful way. And you just show him the fact. But when you told him, instead of being responsible and actually owning what he said and his behavior, he just told you, dude, you're lying.
Exactly.
I didn't say that. So he hurts you, he does something wrong, but he's like, man, what the heck, you're trying to play with me.
Exactly.
And that's the behavior that come on and on and on and on, the lack of and we see it now also with the countries and all that, refusing to accept the history, refusing to accept the mistakes. So
terrible.
It comes in a behavior that is just so until now it was like, okay, you have the money, you have everything, no one can touch you. It's changing now. It's like, what kind of person are you? What are your morals? What are your principles? Oh, sorry, man. It doesn't matter how much money you have. Yeah, you're going where you have to go.
Exactly.
It feels like there is a sense of equity coming in, and those people are feeling threatened. And in that way, the way he talks and the way they call you, let me. I hope you well, but there was no apologies.
Nothing.
Or even the other guy saying, "Man, I should have said something. Sorry that he hurt you. He was out of line. Can I do anything about it? Can I do anything?" No, it's going in a way.
Putting it on me.
Exactly.
Like,
it's like it's your responsibility
exactly.
to do well, but not aware to accommodate you in our company because as a business owner, I think you have to accommodate a healthy work environment for your employees to work and perform the best. Yeah. But apparently, to what you're saying, it's a company that is not really aware of that, as all your ex-colleagues just left and bailed out before Corona, during Corona, taking all that risk.
Before Corona, like one colleague even left and he didn't even have a backup. He just left.
He was just done with
he was like, "Yo, guys, I don't have a new job, but I'm gone," basically. So
it was just too much.
It was just too much, and he had been working there for 5 years. Like I can't imagine how he actually did that for 5 years, the way that they treated him, and he wasn't even black. Like, can you imagine? Like, dude, then you're tired. Like,
exactly. It's like treating, but it's another form of racism. That's another form of the aristocratic racism, where you feel that because you have more and because you're owner, you're entitled to actually have subordinate and have them behaving like a slave, in a certain way. But and let's say that, I mean, in a way, you're pretty lucky as well that you work in an environment that is pretty open-minded. Usually, film production, media production.
When you're in the bigger cities, yes, like Rotterdam, Amsterdam, The Hague, but honestly, like the more you go to the south, and the more you go to smaller cities where they have media production companies, you're gonna find that it's predominantly white people working.
Small city mentality.
And otherwise, it's probably like a person of color either owning the company, co-owning the company, or being an employee there. But there's never more than two, as far as I've seen until now. Like it's not that. They aren't there, people of color in media production. There's tons, but they're just not being employed.
Exactly.
That's like...
It's also a big problem into the work environment, like the chances we get. And I was having discussion with my mom and my girlfriend about this. I was like, the thing is, your resume can be amazing. It can be great. You can have everything, but most of... you will get a job for sure in a healthcare environment because of a diploma. You will get a job as a cop. Funny enough, as a cop, you will. In a military because they desperately need someone to wage their war somewhere. In factories because they need that. But where they don't desperately need someone, you will most likely, because of your name, because of the photo on your resume, it's like 90% of the chance you're like, okay, I'm sending it. But if you don't know someone...
Exactly. You need to know somebody, or you need to just
you don't get it.
Yeah, or you need to have a very good cover letter, because honestly, or your work just has to be really
cover
good.
Letter.
Like even the cover, true, that's true. But this is also why I stopped putting photos on my resumes, because I don't know, I just noticed that I got a lot of wow, I just forgot the word. I got denied a lot of interviews because of, I think because of the photo on my resume and because of my name, because of the fact that I'm not white. And often also when I send my work, I had this one interview in the city where I live a couple years ago. This cosmetics company, they were looking for a media person. So I applied. They invited me for an interview, had that interview. They invited me for a second interview with the CEO of the company. And this guy thought that, I made a couple of animations, one for Fête de Le Grand a couple years ago. I showed it.
Super cool.
Yeah, it was really nice. And I said, showed it to them. And he didn't hire me because he didn't think that I made everything myself. There's a lot of graphic design in there. And then I animated my own graphic designs. And he was like, oh, I thought you just pulled all these images off of internet. I'm like, no, I made everything from scratch, from zero. Everything you see here came from this brain, went through this arm to this hand, and was made on this computer. I was so pissed because eventually they didn't hire me. But then I thought, I don't want to be hired by people like that.
It's exactly that. It's unbelievable how much, and that's, I think people don't realize that, it's already difficult to get a job nowadays.
Definitely, yeah.
But then you okay, I will put up my photos, so you get let's talk about golf. You get a handicap, so you get a handicap of 10. Then you go to an interview, they see that, oh, he's actually Carter. Okay, a handicap of 20 on that one. And then you show your work, and it's actually really good, and it's yeah, you didn't do that. That can't be you.
There must be something wrong here.
You copy this for so. And every time there is a discreditation of your abilities because of it's all the time. You have to prove yourself already. You have to do the job twice better, but at the end, most of the time, you get discredited.
Exactly. Even if you're 10 times better, it doesn't matter because you couldn't have done that. How did you do that? Or where did you get this from?
But what do you think can be done? Because what we're having is we live here in the Netherlands. I mean, in France, you have also black people are a minority. In the US, also a minority, only 10% of the population. So white people are dominant.
Yeah.
And what we see is the dominant people are usually the one that make the remarks or the racist remarks or just pick on people, try to put them down.
Yeah.
And people around them, by what I experienced as well in some situation, don't say anything. So they stay quiet. Dominant people don't stay quiet. The dominant people doesn't do anything, and it doesn't act.
Mm-hmm.
And what I notice is like people around don't act because of not because of something they have to lose, like I'm going to lose my job or friendship, but more for what they have to gain, for profit.
Mm-hmm. More of their own convenience
Exactly,
at all times.
exactly, all convenience and profit. But what do you think? Because your what you did with your employer this last week was I mean, your calm and everything. I would have exploded. I think
a couple of years ago I would have too. But
yeah, exactly. Especially at this moment, I would say, dude, you don't know what's going on at the moment, and you pull out this stunt. No way, man. So, but you did perfect. But if someone cannot formulate or someone cannot let it out of his body, by what do you think can be done? I mean, to
when
get
you're
through
the person, like as in when you're the person who's
like
being
you,
discriminated.
yeah, like you, like if your boss will say that and you were not able to because you feel like you're in a business when you can't talk or you can't afford to lose your job.
Yeah,
also that.
I think the most important thing is look around to see. Like first of all, you have to be a member of a trade union. I think that's one of the most important things that a lot of Black people don't know. Sign up to a trade union because they like it's a couple in Europe it can be I think about like $10 or €10 a month, and they basically give you all this legal advice for just €10 a month, like legal advice that's focused on the work environment basically. So all of your rights as an employee. And I actually called a trade union because I wasn't a member yet. I'm still not, but you can even call them when you're not a member. And they can give you a lot of advice of what you could do.
Interesting.
So that's actually really like a big tip that I got from my girlfriend actually, and she's like, her brain is. Sometimes I'm like, wow, she really gives me the best advice. So, trade union is one. Another thing that I think is very important is when you confront people about it, try not to speak from emotion, because that's where they're going to catch you. They're going to try to, they're definitely going to try to make you, they're going to gaslight you for sure. That's exactly what my employer did when he said, I didn't say that. You must have heard it wrong. He's trying to put it on me. I'm like, no, I heard you loud and clear. And I'm not making this up. Like, I didn't have this whole conversation, I didn't have this bounce off of you, come back and then say something back. Like in my head, it was there at that moment, like, why would I make this up? So like, don't try to talk from emotion too much. Try to speak about facts and still mention emotion, of course. Mention how it makes you feel. But mostly within the work environment. Yeah. Because otherwise they'll be able to deem you as unprofessional or whatever. They'll always find a word to label you with.
So if something happened in your company, someone is being aggressive, and I just tell them, hey man, please don't do that again. It's really hurting me. So the person doesn't stop and say, what are you talking about? I've never done that. I think you can take it to a manager.
Yeah.
If the manager says no, doesn't say anything or doesn't move, and you have no other options, I think take it to a trade union. But I think those should be the step by step. But if you really can't speak out and everything, the trade union seems to be
the best
way to do it. And that's very good advice. I don't know in the Netherlands if there are any other organization, but maybe there should be something set up for the people. Yeah. And maybe like I also have we have to organize communities. I think now, because we all have been on our own corner.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
All of us. But if we find a way to organize a community and say, okay, cool, I can get you in contact with that person. That's not okay. This is also a good way to have a moral support.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
When you're with your partner, it's great. She can listen to you and all that. She loves you and all that. Yeah. But if you have another person that is a friend or that is part of a community, then you guys can discuss about it and see what is best to do, and on a very most of the time not emotional and an objective way to take a decision. So, but that's very important. So definitely. I think build up a community and and those things will be best to do.
Yeah,
But
I was also. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, because I was also thinking. I was talking to friends as well, and we actually kind of came to this conclusion that I feel like black people and people of color in the Western world need to have like their own system within the system. Because what you notice now is that when money goes to the black community, let's just take that separately. When money goes to the black community, whether it's in Africa or whether it's a black community within a Western country, like that money doesn't circulate in there for long. Usually it just comes in and goes right back out to the white community, you know? For example, in Congo, my mom told me she was when she was a kid, every Sunday, everybody in Congo had to go to the plantations and start picking resources for Europe that went to Belgium for free, for the Belgian government, not even for the Congolese government. So that way, what they did was they got all the resources for free, like coffee beans, cocoa beans. They got cotton. They got all types of things. They made their products, probably not even within Belgium, probably again in a different country where it was a lot cheaper. And those products, they go back to Africa. Yeah. So these people, the black community is making something. It's like making sure that there's resources. And they're taking those resources for free. They're creating a product with it and then sending that product back to the place where the resources came from. And what happens then, people buy those products and that money goes right back to Europe. So they're literally pumping all of the money out of there. Not just the money, but also the resources.
Of course, and that's how people, by what you are saying, would understand why a lot of people say buy black.
Exactly, yeah.
Because all the money in the community is being pumped out. And it's never coming back in the end, and it's going out. Unfortunately, in Africa, it's also like another problem with those government that have been there. I mean, the president of Cameroon is the same president since I was born. Right now, so and he's being kept there, you know, because of we know how it works in this world anymore. Still, like people just keep him there, and if they don't want him there anymore, they will just throw an army and
he'll be assassinated, and then they'll find somebody else.
Exactly, we all know how it works, but it's time to, like you're saying, and I've been posting my post in my podcast. This is what it means: defund. Figure out who is the owner. What are they doing with the money, where the money is going, who's investing in each company, and defund the people. And by defunding and making sure that we have like equality in employment, equality in terms of how we're being treated in the company, equality in terms of salaries, based on our abilities, not based on where we're coming from, on our last name or such things. Then we can start moving forward, and that can be done pretty quickly. And have government, if they really want to do something about this, but you know, sometimes, well, we know it arranges them not to do it for other interest and other profit, then sanction the companies who don't do it. But as the government doesn't do it, we have to be the one to do it. We are the one who actually are giving money to the school.
We basically have the power. If we decide not, like in masses, to not buy at a certain store anymore, they're going to lose at least half of the revenue.
More on that.
Yeah, exactly.
More on that, and that's what people have to realize. But the thing is, I mean, a lot of people have been asking, what can I do? And that's what I told them. And I know some people will make the effort, but I also know some people, again here, we're going to go back to this thing of the work environment. For their own profit and their own benefit, won't do anything.
Exactly.
It's a time of discomfort for a lot of people, but they have to realize that we haven't been feeling wall or part of this society, or we have integrated ourselves. They always say you don't integrate. Well, we do. I mean, you speak English perfectly,
Thank you.
And your Dutch is really good. And I heard you speak French also a little bit. You speak French. I mean, you're a very talented person.
I speak 3 colonizer languages. Like, I mean, what do you mean I'm not integrated?
That's a good way of putting it. And also, you know, what was said that back in the days, and it's in a book that I recommended on Instagram, the myth of race. It was based on the fact that black people, they will say that we're not able to actually assimilate science, speak a language, or they were not able to be artistic. They were only barbarians, pretty much on the bottom. This proves that this is not true. So all those theories of the late 1700s, early 1800s, and late 1800s are proven to be refuted and wrong. So it's just a matter of taste and a matter of difference. But accepting that there is another difference.
Exactly.
But then again, in a book there is a really intense quote about that, where there is a philosopher that goes to America for the first time, and he has never seen a black person. So he goes to Chicago or New York, I forgot precisely, but he goes there and the waiter is black, and he's completely shocked.
Wow.
He calls his mom and he say, "Mom, this is crazy. This is the most shocking thing I've seen in my life, and the difference shocks him so much that he's completely rebutted by the color of the person. And it's just the color. He does not talk about how well or how good the guy does in his job. It's just the difference just shocks him. So it shows that the difference of color is one of the main things, but we know that it's already difficult to live with someone because of how different a person is. But it shows that for some people it just comes down to the point that you are different, and I do not accept the fact that you are different. And on top of that, you have all those ideas of a black worker perform less.
Exactly.
A black worker is lazy. A black worker needs to be put back in his place. All those things are into work, into the ideas that just come back on top of that, and I just like make this workplace toxic and everything. And unfortunately, I didn't. Fortunately, in my work environment, I never had anyone. I had some people, like making like little teasing jokes and everything, and I can take jokes, but
for sure.
It's fine with black people and all that. And also a good thing is like, if you want to make a joke, make sure the person is your friend. Don't go up and make like a racist. If I don't know you, man, if we just meet the first time, if you don't know the person, don't go and do that. You're on a suicidal mission there. It's stupid. It's dumb. I mean,
kamikaze pilots.
Exactly. What are you doing? So it's also something we can still joke about things, and it's fine, but make sure that you know the person. And you have something going on. But
also that it's actually a joke. Like,
it's actually a joke.
if you're gonna make jokes about plantations, that's not a joke to me.
No, that's
a joke about
anymore.
like something stupid about my skin color, or that I must be lazy, or like, oh, you probably never run for the train, ha ha ha, stuff like that. Then I'm like, that's not a joke. That is exactly
that's arrogance.
Exactly, that's
putting
arrogance.
back in your place.
Exactly,
because of jealousy probably, and then just need to be like, okay, this is the only way I can attack you, and that's the only way to get you. And that's also what I encounter. We discussed about this in my life. It's unfortunate whether it becomes physical or it just becomes on the thing of color. But like you having the right attitude, and they can't get you, man. And that's the only way to go. Speak up. That's the thing.
Exactly.
Don't tolerate anything.
That's the first step. Speak up, speak out, and also just like don't feel alone, because now we know, like after these couple of weeks, now we know like we are not by ourselves. We've all felt very alone for years. Me personally, my whole life. As a teenager, even in elementary school, I went into like depressions, in and out constantly, because
it's unbelievable, the depression thing, because it's we're pretty joyful, and people see us in a certain way and happy, but it seems like most of my friends, I think 90% of the mix and black people I know went through depression, and also had depression with the Black Lives Matter thing just going boom and back up, going through a lot of process. So it's very interesting. People have to realize that the damage being done is not visible, but it's deeply, deeply, deeply rooted in us. It's real. We feel it, and it leads our action and our behaviors in terms of what we do and how we behave. So, and we're pretty lucky, because we don't, I mean, like you say, you're comfortable being alone, and I also have that, and a lot of creative people have that, so you're fine. But let's say that, you have all that anger, that depression and everything, and then, of course, you don't have the right people leading your way and being around you, then it's easy for you to go into into criminality and fall into
Exactly,
that.
yeah.
And I don't blame those kids, man, because that's the only thing they have. So on the last subject, I would like to pick your brain, and because many people ask me, and I have my way of thinking and my way of my experience in my life, but what can I do as a lot of people, light skin complexion, all the human beings, all the cousins that stayed a bit too long in the north and didn't see too much sun, want to know what can I do?
I think the best thing you can do right now is really listen and take people serious when they speak out. That's the first step. I know it's like it can be very difficult because a lot of people who don't think they're racist and who feel like they're allies are actually perpetuating those same racist stereotypes that they're actually fighting against, you know? And they don't even realize it sometimes, So, and I don't necessarily blame them because it's all generational. Like, understand your history, understand where certain thought processes come from, and really educate yourself because the government isn't going to educate you on facts, you know?
The thing is to have you uneducated to actually, if you guys read, and you as well, read the book, The Myth of Race, you will understand and you'll be like, wow, if we had this in school as a book, there would have been a revolution already. And seriously, even for the dominant people of this society, there would have been a revolution.
Big time.
It's now we've been waiting for this thing, but interrupting you on what you were saying, but read that book on education. Educate yourself, like you were saying.
Exactly.
Educate yourself.
That is the
Please
most important because,
read.
do some research on internet. When you find a post on social media, on Instagram or whatever, don't just believe it. Like, do some research. It's like literally a couple of taps on your phone away. You can just go on Google, research the topic, and then read about it. I mean, like, posting about it isn't necessarily going to change something. It might make other people interested in what you're saying and start questioning themselves. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is that you educate yourself and you know what you're talking about. Because a lot of people are out here going to protests and stuff, and I don't want to shame them because I'm very happy that they're there and showing that, because that shows to the outside world like there's really a problem and all of these people are here to fight that problem. But a lot of people who are going to these events, in my opinion, they're there for either the likes, either the fact that then they can say, I'm not racist, I went to a Black Lives Matter protest.
Some people, Some people, but you have a mix of everything.
Yeah, exactly, So I think that a lot of people need to start thinking for themselves, like, am I really in it for the right reasons? I'm not saying if you're not, step out. If you're not, re-educate and reassess yourself, Like, really put in that work because... Like, if you're going to stand there and protest against racism, police brutality, et cetera, then I also want to hear you speak out in December against Black people.
And not even in December. I want them to, at work, because we spoke about
all
work.
The time,
I want you every single time, if you're posting the things on Instagram, to speak up about work. Once your friend makes a joke about, or just talk, even a story, you don't have to tell a story and say, oh yeah, and then there was that African dude and Moroccan dude. What does it bring to your story? If you cannot bring the fact of the appearance of the guy, you're a terrible storyteller. So figure out how you can tell a story without putting the origin or the skin color of the person. That then also at work, just check if people are racist. Just tell them, hey man, this is not okay. This is not good, and all that. And do your work. And if you don't want to snitch on them, which I understand, which is a good thing, just talk to an organization like you mentioned, and I would just do some research on also what's available in Holland, in France, in the US. Because I saw quite a few people from those countries and also from South Africa. I will look into those which organization they can find and what's best for the people to bounce on.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that's the best thing to do. And for the Black community, what can they do? Because a lot of people, I see some people reacting, but I also see some people still being, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Very asleep.
Yeah, true.
Very asleep.
Yeah, I think that's the toughest one because there's a lot of Black people who I always like kind of think that it has to do with self-hate in a way that throughout their whole life they've been exposed to so much racism that they started to believe it at a young age, and then as some kind of coping mechanism, they started to treat themselves also as less in a way.
It's too painful,
exactly,
maybe, to open the box.
While kind of like fooling themselves into the thought that oh no, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with the fact that my white friends always call me the N-word or always call me monkey or whatever, you know? There's a lot of people like that. There's a lot of black people who don't take an offense on Black Pete, which, you know, like, I mean, I'm not saying everybody should be offended, but I'm saying, like, if the people who don't take an offense on it, they often have the exact same arguments as white people when they're trying to defend it. So I think that's the toughest one, you know? Like, I mean, you can't force anybody to think a certain way. The only thing you can do is, like, maybe really show them what history was really like, you know? And tell them why... if you are the person who is angry and who is awake, who is woke at that moment, then don't force anybody to be as woke as you are.
No.
Just like, you know, subtle try to show them about history in a subtle way. Try to show them or tell them about how you feel in a subtle way without shaming them, without making them feel like they're doing something wrong. Because in essence, they're not doing anything wrong. They're coping with pain in a different way than you are, you know? And that's very important to understand because at the end of the day, even if you're woke, you are not blacker than any other black person who isn't, you know?
Exactly.
So you can't, you know, like this wokeness also kind of can turn into an arrogance that's also going to turn into discrimination.
Very much so. You have to respect everyone's way of reaction. And everywhere is handling it the best he can. Pretty much. And like you said really well, you just need to respect them and just let them the time to realize what is happening.
Because that's what we want.
Exactly. And maybe put some words on it and understand what is even going on to them, because what I mentioned on the first podcast was, and with Anne-Sophie as well, she started tolerating it because, you know, you just want to go on with your life and you're just so heavy sometimes and you just, that's the only way you can keep going. It's so busy. You don't have time to think, and you don't have time to process this information because you have to first be sure that you have the basic needs, eating, a roof, and also, you know, just go around and have some even people of your situation regulated in a country. So that's very difficult. But I think the way you explain it is really good, and be aware of it, discuss about it, and rebuild the community. Because no matter what, there is, okay, you're from this country, you know, even in the ethnies within Africa, there are differences, and people are like, no, man, you like Carmichael, I don't know if you know him, Kwame Ture, used to say, you have to love your brother. First, the black man has to learn how to love the black man. First, he said it 10 times. First, the black man has to learn how to love the black man. But that means as well, you have to learn how to love yourself. And then when you learn love yourself, forgive yourself, because all those things, then you can move on. So more like, is it like this podcast is about, you know, giving back and just like helping people to figure out what is going on with us, telling them, hey, you know, we angry and we're emotional. This is why, and for the other black, mixed and minorities to be like, yeah, man, it's okay. We have to reassess everything, and we have so. It's just a process of like helping each other and dismantle everything. Look into it. Wow, we have a problem here. We gotta fix it.
Yeah, exactly.
And push for change, and don't accept the status quo. And but one person can make a change. That is bullshit. I'll say it. 100%. That is bullshit. That is pure bullshit. If you think that. Then find a way to find all the people that you can get together and do it. But like you said, one person, you in your company, you confronted your boss. Maybe your behavior and your action, well, that would change maybe the course of that company for the best or the worst. But one person can make a change. Definitely. I don't know if you know the theory of the butterfly effect.
Yes. The ripples that it,
Exactly. One flap of a butterfly in the ocean could trigger a tornado. That would be devastating. It's just like that one movement that offsets everything. So yes, one person, one thing can mess it all up. You have to stop accepting it. It's just the first thing. Stop accepting it. And we've been waiting for this. There are so many people, we know that. And the worst thing for the people up there is people uniting.
Exactly.
But we have to push for this. Yeah. And with the other one, as soon as everyone is educated and as soon as everyone has made the push and has figured out, oh man, I really I love you for who you are, not I see you. As soon as everyone sees each other, then we can push forward. Exactly. But we have to first heal and figure it out, and then we can push.
For sure, definitely. This makes me think of a quote that my girlfriend often uses. She always says, "Think globally, act locally." So basically, we should start getting organized from the ground up.
Of course. Like,
if we are able to organize as the people by starting, I don't know, like this, just starting conversations and stuff. Then we're going to find out what everybody's experiences are. Yeah. We're going to notice, like, okay, your experiences are a lot like mine. What can we do about it? Maybe together in our region, you know? Because I don't think it's necessarily super clever to immediately expect governments to make major changes.
They will never make changes. A politician is not there to make the changes of the people. A politician is there to do his work. That's the thing, and that's why a lot of people are still thinking like he's a great messiah there to save us from our misery. He is not. He is there to do a job, which is lead the country into a certain direction based on the law pushed by some people. But the problem is the law pushed by the people that are just not okay, and those people need to be replaced, and the way you do that is by moving away the source of income. Who's on your TV? By the way, turn off the TV. It's bullshit. Definitely. Start with that. Turn off the TV, turn off the news, all that. It is terrible. There are only a few sources on the internet where you can really rely on what is being said and everything, but it is just all the time, it's the same narrative. How is it possible that you have news channel from every country and it's
all the same narrative?
All the same narrative. That is impossible.
Because news channels are all owned by companies.
Owned companies and pushed by some people to actually trigger fear for this and trigger reaction around the world. And this is what it makes. So turn off your TV. Take a breath. Take some time. Listen to what you have to listen. And criticize, even on this podcast. Listen to what we're saying and be critical.
Exactly.
And be critical. Just don't take what we are saying or our words for like the good old thing. We mean well in this thing. We're just sharing our experience, but we might be biased by our experiences as well.
Exactly. True.
So you have to think critically, and this is how we move forward by also hearing feedback which we received and which were pretty good. And this is the way we move forward.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So I think we covered it all on that one, man.
Nice.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that was a really good.
It was good to have you, man.
Yeah, thank you very much.
It took a few years and this to happen, but
it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, sure. Definitely. I'm really happy that I was able to speak, and for me, it also it's a big relief. You know, it's really a big relief.
Once again, I'm gonna say a third time, I am not being sponsored by that guy's book, but please go read The Myth of Race.
The Myth of Race,
It is unbelievable. You will understand all the things that I'm making allusion to and the way our systems are built, the way you will understand racism in our society. Wrap it up?
Yes, let's go. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
They want black girl magic cause they know it's the best. Now we're taking it back. Yeah, I said it with chest. So give me my part and pay off what you owe to the rest. Cause they owe my brothers the world and they owe us respect. You surprised to see us angry? What the fuck you expect? Now we still turning heads and we be snapping them necks. Cause we're the light out in the darkness that I know they detect. Yeah.